Hello everyone, MeNoHaxor here. I'm giving guys a first impression videos on Pyke. He just came out today, so I wanted to just put in my practice tool match just to get a feel for what his abilities are like and what his interactions are like. And so this is just kind of like a quick video just giving my overall thoughts. Haven't even played a rank game with him yet, but I just want to see what my first impressions are. So I'll go over some of the weird interactions with the abilities that I found so far and kind of what I think about each one. So his Q, I'm sure if you saw the video, where his Q is his main damage ability. If you tap it immediately, he'll just stab out in front of him like that. If you hold it, it'll turn into a hook like this, and then you can throw it and it launches the person you hit back behind you like this. So the first thing I noticed is that as soon as it turns into like the hold skill like this, the distance you throw back is always going to be the same no matter where you hit him. So for example, like if I hit him at the very tip like this, he always goes back the same distance here. But if I use it when I'm right in front of him like this, he'll still go the same distance, but he'll like go over me now because I'm like much closer to him. And the only really cool thing about this is that you can throw people over terrain like this. So that's actually quite useful if someone's running away. And if he's like walking up this way, then you can just catch them out like that, which is really cool. Like maybe I'll demo it right here. So I can throw someone like up here, I can throw them back like this. Very cool. This is definitely going to be his most important skill to enable kills. If you don't land this, I don't think you're ever going to get a kill. So I would imagine it's probably better to just tap it immediately since it does a little bit more damage. So you should tap it if you want to like do as much damage as possible. You would just like keep like auto, something like that. His W lets him run really fast and he goes into camouflage. It's really nice to dodge wards, I would say. That's probably the biggest use case, because it works like Twitch stealth where he's invisible up until there's a control ward. If he's near an enemy, if there's a yellow indicator, that means they can't see you. But as soon as that indicator turns like pink with an eye, then they can see you now. So just keep that in mind as you're just walking around like this. You can probably position yourself a little bit better in lane, get into a bush they can't normally see. That's how I would probably use this ability. I think this is definitely something I would max last. It's probably not that useful outside of just having 1 point. Now his E is really interesting. This is going to take a while to learn because his E is a dash, and then the little image that returns back to him will stun stuff. So what I found most interesting about this is that you can go through a lot of very strange walls that seem way too thick to pass through, but you can definitely go through it. For example, this wall right here is probably the most important one because you can go through this. Like that's weird. Like it doesn't look like you can because the range doesn't look like it's big enough, but it's most definitely doable. So I started testing that around. You can actually go through a lot of crazy walls. Like you can go through walls like here, you can go through this, here, through here. So it's crazy. Like, okay, maybe you can't go through this one. This one would be a little too thick. Maybe you do it through here. Yeah. You have to just get a feel for the amount of range it has. But for the most part, yeah, you can go through a lot of like ridiculous walls. I think you can get to a lot of really interesting spots on the map. Like if you want to loop around like in the river here, but there's like a control word here, for example. You can just use the dash to get over the wall like this, and then just stealth and get closer to where you want to go. Like this. And then you can wait for cooldowns again, and then you can go in for the stun like that. So that's very cool. This is a really, really cool ability. I think that once people get more used to using his dash, people are going to have like really crazy gank routes, because I actually expect Pyke to be much more of a roaming champion than a laning champion, in my opinion. And then his ultimate is actually an AoE skill, so it's not targeted, meaning like you can just cast your ult like literally wherever you want, which is kind of weird because I feel like most people when they would cast his ult and then just completely whiff. But when you hit any part of the X on a champion, you will teleport to the center of your X. So if I hit this dummy target like with the top right corner of the X, I'll teleport right where my mouse is. So that's something to keep in mind. I think it's reasonably easy to land on moving targets. Like, I mean, you can literally place them in the middle of the X, and I feel like it's quite easy to land it. And that's the only weird thing I found with his ult. And that's about it. So I would say his general combo, if you're gonna try to do stuff on a champion, is that, let's say you're in lane, right? Like, let's say I'm here, and there's an enemy champion right here. I'd imagine how most combos would go is that you would stealth, find a good angle. As soon as you get close enough, you dash immediately, go behind him. You're gonna auto Q auto for some burst damage like that. I think that would be your main bread and butter for getting off chunks of damage. Obviously, if you want to all in them a bit more, or let's say like they see you from really far away, you can always go for the stealth flash. And then if you try to run away, you can get your Q ready, throw them backwards. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think overall, Pyke is a really cool champion. I can't wait to see people get really experienced with him, because I think that he's gonna be. I think he'll be a love-hate champion. I think most people either hate him or really like him a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of bad Pykes walking around. So we'll see. I'm very excited. But yeah, this is my just my overall first impression. I think his numbers seem reasonable. I don't think it's super low. But I don't think it's overbalanced. I think it's just about right. If anything, a little bit underwhelming, just because it'll take a while for people to figure out how to play him. But yeah, he seems good. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Definitely give him a try if you can. So for runes, I think there's 2 routes you can go. I'm not sure which one's better yet, but I think it's very clear that you can go 2 routes. So the first one is that you can go Domination, you take Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Relentless Hunter, and I guess Zombie Ward is fine in the second row. I guess you can take Eyeball if you really want more damage, but Zombie Ward's probably better. And then for secondary tree, you take Resolve, Second Wind, Bone Plating. Bone Plating is just super good. Second Wind is probably nice given that you will probably take a lot of poke and harassment in lane since you're melee, and having the extra regeneration on top of your passive regeneration is pretty helpful, in my opinion. Otherwise, I think that the second option is that you can go a more defensive build if you're scared of getting too wrecked in lane. I think if you go Guardian for more shielding and protection for yourself, and then once again you take Bone Plating, some Second Wind, some Revitalize, you can sustain a lot better in really bad matchups where you get chunked out too much. And then in the secondary tree, you can also probably take Water Walking and Celerity if you don't want to take Domination. I think Water Walking Celerity is good if you're roaming a lot. I know in the past a lot of the roaming supports like Thresh, Alistar, Leona, they would take Water Walking Celerity as their secondary tree. So I think it can definitely work on Pyke as well. And I would imagine these to be the 2 most popular pages, depending on the matchup. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Pyke, what are your first impressions, and hopefully I can try to get a commentary on him out relatively soon. So yeah, thanks.